Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by Clamptite, the clamp making tool.
This is Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, and this is a true story. Brought the Dauber Cruiser into Motorhead Garage, and I was going to check some fluids, open the hood up, and I see that the air filter has actually popped off the cold air intake, and that is because I was using a regular hose clamp, Nikki. It's the one that came with the vehicle. Why are hose clamps a bad idea?
They're supposed to be stainless steel, and they're not completely stainless steel. They screw on, they create an oval. Vibration from the engine alone screws these off. So if you don't regularly maintain these and get in here and tighten them down, they're not going to stay. So you need something that's custom, that doesn't vibrate, doesn't come off, and that's where the Clamptite tool is going to work for you. So.
And how does it work now? What do we have to do to get to this point?
Basically, we're just going to cut a piece of wire, feed it around twice. We are using some pressure on this, so you kind of want to do twice around at least. And we're using a little bit larger wire as well on this, just for that. Now, we've attached the tool, we've tightened it, getting it nice and tight. Now, you are in a very tight area here, so get it as tight as you possibly can. Now, you want to go 180 if you can. This particular situation, it's a little tight, so 90 degrees is really all you need.
Okay.
What we're going to do now is we're just simply going to cut the wire wherever you can get to it. Get that tool out of your way. Yeah. Like I said, tight areas might be a little bit harder. You want to cut these tabs just a little bit smaller, push them down so they lock it in place, because that's that fulcrum point that you want it to be at. So just push them down, and then they're not catching as well.
And make sure you don't cut yourself there when you're
Absolutely.
Which beats the heck out of the traditional clamps.
Of course.
Which I cut myself every single time I'm using
time.
one. Yes. Now, you mentioned different sizes of wire. If I needed to get into a tighter space than that, is there another Clamptite tool that I could use?
There is. We have a mini tool that's a little bit smaller. Now, this wire size is about a 51,000, so I'm using that because of the material that you're working with. So the mini tool only goes up to about a 41. You could use that on here, and it would get into a little bit tighter. So the larger the wire, the harder the material you're working with. The smaller the wire, the smaller the hose, like 1/2 inch and smaller, your more flexible silicone hoses.
You guys refer to the Clamptite clamp as a permanent clamp, as a custom clamp as well, but it's not. It's permanent if you want to leave it on.
Right.
But if you want to take it off, how easy is that?
Yeah, actually, just those tabs we were talking about a little bit ago. You're just going to pull those tabs back out, just like so. Go like that, and then grab a hold of it. Just pull it out, and now you've got that wire.
It's just that easy. All right, Nikki, thanks. We're going to check in with your worst half up here. Kevin, Nikki talked about the 360 seal that the Clamptite tool makes.
Right.
Why is that so important?
Well, like on a regular worm-fed hose clamp, you get that flat spot. The whole problem is you've got a round hose, a round fitting, but you have a clamp that actually makes an oval. How do you expect it to seal 360 degrees when you're making an oval out of it? So with the Clamptite, true 360 seal, all the way around, no ovaling.
And for high pressure situations, that's especially important. What kind of feedback are you getting from customers that use the Clamptite tool on a high pressure application?
So we just did a truck show. Our truckers love the tool for an emergency situation. You're pulled off on the side of the road, you're waiting hours for a tow truck or a road ranger. The Clamptite tool makes a great emergency fix, gets you either to the next town where you can fix it another way, or, I mean, it is permanent enough that it can stay on. We have award winners, cars that this is their clamping system. The Amber Award winner last year, some of our other shows like in hot rod shows, things like that, this is their clamping system, so it's a permanent fix.
A lot of folks are building muscle cars and that sort of thing, maybe a resto mod. They want it to look like the original vehicle.
Sure.
And they want everything to be original equipment. That's why they're using the old hose clamps. But they can use a Clamptite tool instead and still get the original look. How do they do it?
Absolutely. So you just make your clamp up, and what you have is that true 360 seal, a clamp that actually works, and then you can slide your tower clamp over top of it. The problem with the original clamps are you can get them tight or you can get them off, but you can't do both. That's kind of the joke with them. They don't seal very well. So
the Clamptite tool has all kinds of automotive applications. You can use it for all kinds of things around the house or the farm. Use it on your truck on the road. You can find it at clamptitetools.com. You're going to want one. Trust me.
So many motor oils, so many types of motor oils, and so many different viscosities. When it comes to motor oils, which one should we put in our vehicle? Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. It's all about motor oil and viscosities, and I brought in Len, an expert. Why do we have an expert? Well, Len, I kind of got a rudimentary experiment when it comes to oil and how to explain viscosity. And what we did a little bit earlier is we took some 20W50 weight oil and we dropped a ball in it. And it's all kind of controlled, the temperature's controlled, and you can see the ball going kind of slowly down there in that little vial as it drops down because that oil's thick. That's what viscosity means to me. Then we went ahead and got the 0W20 oil and we did the same test. We dropped the ball in, and when we dropped the ball in, man, you can see that one's running right down. Kind of a controlled environment, but it seems a lot thinner. I know that's kind of rudimentary, but take us through that viscosity as an expert.
Yeah, that gets you there as a test. That's why I kind of like that. It gives you a real down and dirty look at what viscosity actually means. But in actual terms, multi-viscosity oil, meaning oil that has two numbers. Generally, the first number would be your cold temperature pumpability number. So generally taken at room temperature or lower in most cases, 0W, 10W, that's your low temperature number. So how is the oil going to act when it's cold? The other number is the interesting part. The other number is the oil's actual weight, but that weight is only accurate at 212 degrees F, also known as 100 Celsius. Okay, that is a standard at which all motor oils are graded in their weight. So if we have a 0W20, it's only a 20 weight at 100 C or 212 F. All oils, all synthetic oils are not created equal. The better the base oil that you start with in the product, with the less additives that you have to add, you'll see more consistency. You'll see more consistent pressure across a wide temperature band. Those are the products that we use in our Signature Series product.
Just too easy. Go to AMSOIL.com.
We cannot do this show without you, the viewer, so thank you so much for tuning in. And we can't do this show without great products coming through the studio here. So if you have one you want to see featured on Motorhead Garage, email me. Send a note to dave@motorheadgarage.tv. We'll get you here in our studio to show it off to the world. Until next week, from the greatest crew in television, we will see you here for another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com.